Hello, Durud and Shalom. How's everyone doing? Wow, I see the chat is already busy. Idris is here. Well, this is great. Guys, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream. It's very important to grow this channel. Guys, it's happening. I mean, just a little bit. It's happening, but it has started. We already had, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? We had the Sabzawar people coming in Iran, and they were protesting then. And we had tear gases and all of that happening over there. But we're also now, why is this connected? Okay. We're also, you guys hear me, right? The audio is good. We also now have Tehran. We have protests in Tehran. So let me actually maybe show that. Do you guys want to see? Do you guys want to see? Let me actually see if everything is working. Let me see my audio. Yes, fantastic. Audio is good. Like, all right, guys, audio is good. Let me actually show you on video. So not this one. This is fake. This is, old. This is the real one. Yeah, Sam is here. Hi, Sam. How's everyone doing? Okay, so Torah is here. The person with the Hebrew name that I cannot read. Sam is saying, telling people to... Guys, look at this. I have new, fresh video of protests in Tehran in the metro. Look at this. So, chants deaf to the dictator at Tehran, at the subway station or metro station, whatever you want to call it. Let's watch this together. Hold on. Let me full screen this so that we could watch it together. One second. So they're saying "Mad Dictator," which means death to the dictator. So these are, guys, these are just from yesterday. Like, these are really new. So somebody is saying, that lady said death to the Islamic Republic. Again, guys, these are in Tehran. And if these are in reaction to water outages and electricity outages, it's getting really bad. And that lady said, on top of the saying death to the Islamic Republic, she also said curse upon the Islamic Republic. What was the last thing? I can't tell what this other lady is saying. By the way, this one is not correct. So this one was getting a lot of views. It got 1,600 likes, saying breaking riots in Iran happening right now. I mean, the caption is correct. Iranian protesting due to lack of water and electricity, chanting death to Khamenei. Okay, tear gas used in Tehran subway. I don't think tear gas was used. I'm not sure. I think tear gas was used in Sabzawar, not in Tehran subway. This video that she's sharing, this is old. This is from 2022, I think. So just wanted to let you guys know not to believe every single video. So this video is not correct. This is not the one. This is, I think this looks like it's in the subway as well, but it's 3 years old. This is from before. All right, so just be mindful not to believe every single video you see on social media, because that one got so many likes and retweets and everything. So it's important that we fact check. I mean, Iran International is a good way to actually go find the real videos. You guys had the audio, right? When I was sharing all of this with you, you had the audio. The audio was being shared. Guys, make sure you like the stream. It's important that you like the stream so that more people end up seeing this. But guys, there's a lot of new signs that should suggest that both Israel and the Islamic Republic are preparing for a potential uprising of the Iranian people into the streets. I don't know if it's going, like, we're already seeing some sign of it starting. So this might be promising. But the Islamic Republic, I mean, both Mossad and the Islamic Republic have better intelligence of what's happening than us. So it's good to pay attention to what they are, how they're behaving, because that indicates what their information is showing, right? So let me give you some reasons why the Islamic Republic is getting ready for mass protests in the streets. One is that, I mentioned to you guys that Pezeshkian, President Pezeshkian, the president of the country, which is the puppet of Khamenei and says whatever he orders him to do, he came out and said that he's ready to talk to the opposition, and that is a language that they have never ever used. Like, that is completely, this is new. This is like, we've never heard the regime say that we're ready to talk to the opposition. Okay, but please be mindful. I will tell you why that should not make you, that is, you should not be welcoming that, talking to the opposition with the Islamic Republic, and I'll tell you why, what he means by the opposition. But the fact that they're now using a type of language that they have never used before, meaning that saying that we're ready to talk to the opposition, again, you, like, anybody who follows Iranian politics would know this coming from a regime official, how groundbreaking and crazy that is, right? Yes, this is actually Taghiya. I'll tell you why. But it is new. They're using cars that they never played before. Talking to the opposition is not a taqiyya that they used to play before. They have reserved it for these days, and the fact that they're playing that, oh, hi, Sean is here, Heavy Gretel is here, fantastic, you guys, it's amazing. Dr. Tong, okay, that's fantastic. Okay, so the fact that they're using that suggests that they think that there's a major backlash from the Iranian people coming, and a lot of analysts inside Iran are suggesting that a major uprising is going to happen soon, given all the electricity and water outages. Like, this is, I don't know if you understand how bad the situation is. Like, I am getting from messages from not just like lower class, like upper middle class Iranians that, yeah, we not no electricity today for 4 hours, 7 hours, which is insane because it's really hot right now in Iran. And also water outages as well. And the regime is trying to blame Iranian people for high consumption waters for their water shortages, which is insane because most of the water usage in Iran is for farming, not by individual consumptions at their house. Like, the vast majority of it is for farming. So it's bad policies of the government that is causing shortage of water. Everybody knows that. Anyways, people have had enough, and they're losing their patience. And again, more people are also pointing out that the destruction that the regime is inflicting upon the people is astronomically higher than anything Israel could ever do in Iran. And a lot of people are pointing that out in Iran, which is making a lot of people get motivated to come out into the streets and do something about it, right? So the fact that the president said that suggests that they're trying to get the people to quiet down. So let me actually, and also a lot of Iranians have reported to me from Iran on Telegram. They message me and they tell me that they're getting text messages from the government with messages of warning, messages of asking them to call, to report suspicious activity, or anyone in their community or on social media that are talking things against the regime or might be organizing. Like, they're trying to get citizens to spy on each other, which is also an indication that they are worried that something is about to happen. Oh, well, thank you so much. Skyscraper Philosopher just gave us a super chat saying, guys, by the way, during the show, I will read super chats. If you do send us super chats, it's a really good way to support the channel other than liking the stream. And I would read them while as they come. Norwegian, so Skyscraper Philosopher is saying, Norwegian here, you see location of profile pic. Is that Damavand? Is that the Damavand mountain? Is it? Is that really Damavand? Tell me it is. Is it? Well, that's pretty cool. If it is, that's amazing. Let me see the chat. I don't know if it is. Okay. I think it might be because that's why you're referring to it. So let me actually go through some of the writings I have here regarding why the regime knows that something is about to happen. And I will then also go tell you what the signals that we're getting from Israel suggesting that something is about to happen. Yeah, is that Amir saying, is that a famous mountain in Iran? Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes. Okay. So let me actually read this. Masoud Pezeshkian, Iran's new president, has said that Iran's problems can only be solved through dialogue and not confrontation. So, but guys, basically, this is begging the Iranian people not to confront them. So, when because the regime, when they have the upper hand, they just basically come in and massacre the Iranian people. I mean, remember the bloody Aban? They just killed 1,500 people just pointing at people and shooting at them. So when they talk about, hey, we need dialogue, non-confrontation, that's when they are afraid of the people. This is the fact that the president is saying we need dialogue and confrontation. When they ask for no confrontation, is the time that they think they're going to lose in a confrontation. So basically, they're trying to ask for dialogue when they think that and again, we have no dialogue with the regime. The only thing that we want to do with the regime is fight the regime. But when they're asking for dialogue, it's a signal of weakness. And I hope the Iranian people see that weakness, and it gives them, makes them bolder and stronger, knowing that the regime is basically begging them. This is just begging. This is basically begging to, guys, we cannot deal with you right now because there's so many things coming at us. Can you guys come into the streets when we actually have the upper hand so that we could basically do a massacre on you? Because right now it's not the time. That's basically what he's saying. And then he has even expressed readiness to talk with the opposition. But he hasn't clearly defined who he means by that. He also said he is willing to talk based on fairness and justice. These kinds of statements are unusual in the tightly controlled political space of the Islamic Republic, so they got a lot of attention. However, there's confusion and debate over what exactly he means and whether he's serious or just using soft language to ease tensions. Okay, so the regime never offers, dialogue unless it's scared. Pezeshkian's sudden friendliness towards the opposition isn't a sign of strength. It's a panic response. If the regime truly felt secure, it would keep cracking down as usual. But by floating fairness and justice and openness to dialogue, it's trying to calm a storm before it erupts. This is a classic regime survival tactic. Offer words, no action. When the heat gets too high, we basically just offer words, no action. The fact that Pezeshkian even mentions talking to critics shows that the pressure from within is real. That is very interesting. Let me see actually what you guys say. Oh, the person with the Hebrew name is called Yav Ben. I'm gonna try to remember that. Okay. I'm going to try to remember that. But why are you saying it now? I think you're a little bit behind the live stream. Why is the temperature not? That's Damovand. I'm watching on delay. Yes, guys, confirmation. I was right. It was It is the Damovand mountain. Oh, that's so sweet. Why is your profile picture the Damovand mountain? Guys, by the way, the Damovand mountain is like a huge symbol of, our nation in Iran. It's kind of like Fujiyama for Japan. So thank you. That's very sweet. That's your profile picture. I'm touched. Guys, before I continue with the analysis, I do wanted to show you, because I know the Israelis are coming here. I did wanted to show you, because you guys remember on the last stream I showed you that Araghchi told everybody, it told the world, told Fox News that the Islamic Republic has never tried to annihilate Israel. So let me actually remind you of that. And there's two things I didn't show you on the last stream, and I want to show you today. So let's watch that.
It has never been Iran's policy to wipe out Israel from the map.
So it has never been the Islamic Republic's or Iran's policy, as he said, policy to wipe out Israel from the map. This is Araghchi. This is the foreign minister in Iran. And here you can see on Iran's ballistic missile. Guys, can you read the Hebrew? So I can read the Persian. You could read the Hebrew for me. So the Persian said, اسرائیل باید از صحنه روزگار محو شود. Can you guys read the Hebrew? It's basically saying that Israel should be wiped out from the face of the earth, or Israel must be wiped out from the map. And this is what they put on their missiles. So yeah, okay. So I didn't include that in the previous stream, and I also didn't include something else in the previous stream to show that the man is lying. Watch this, guys. Let's watch this together. Let's listen to this. So this is one of the regime, like one of the regime officers. Hold on, let me see. Let's actually read the caption first. So this is Hafiz Tarihi, which is very good account to follow. So this is Abdul Rahim Mousavi, chief of staff of Iran's armed forces, saying, "My greatest wish is the destruction of Israel." And also we have Abbas Nil Furushan, IRGC deputy for operations, and saying, "Since I was 6, I've dreamed of destroying Israel." And then we also have Ali Reza Tangsiri, IRGC Navy chief, saying, "We'll wipe out Israel off the map." Again, I need to show this to you guys because the foreign ministry is going around on Fox News and spreading lies, saying the Islamic Republic never tried to wipe out Israel, and which was really bizarre, because I remember from childhood that they constantly told us that that's the plan of the entire country. So it's really important that we spread these videos, because I showed you a couple of videos to show you that they're lying from Khamenei himself. These are some videos from the military officials. So let's listen to this guy. My greatest wish and my ideal is the annihilation and destruction of the Zionist regime.
من آرمانم محو و نابودی رژیم صهیونیستی. این
This is something I constantly think about.
چیزی است که دائم من بهش فکر میکنم.
Well, yeah. Okay. What do you think about? Like, there's some, like, yeah, the annihilation. Well, I mean, Israel is annihilating you guys.
که دائم من بهش
You'll take that wish to your graves, the graves that Israel has dug for you.
فکر میکنم. حالا این که قابل پخش نیست.
Of course, this is something that can be broadcast. So let's leave it at that. Okay.
بماند.
از 6 ساله.
So here's the second guy. He's saying, since the age of 6, I wish to destroy Israel. By the way, that's the flag of IRGC right behind him.
یه آرزو داشتم که اسرائیل رو نابود کنم.
Wow.
این
It has been my greatest dream since childhood. Look at this.
بزرگترین آرزوی من بوده از کودکی. یعنی این همیشه
It has always stayed with me.
چبام بوده. استراتژی
This is also the strategy of the Islamic Republic, the destruction and wiping out of the fake regime.
انقلاب اسلامی هم محو و نابودی رژیم جعلی صهیونی.
And here's another one saying, the IRGC Navy will carry out the command of the two imams of the revolution.
فرمان امامین انقلاب را به اجرا در خواهند آورد و اسرائیل
And wipe Israel off the face of the earth.
را از روی صفحه جهان محو خواهد شد.
This has never
And this is Arakshi now coming on Fox News and saying this.
been Iran's policy to wipe out Israel from the map.
Yeah, it's really important that you guys go and try to fight back against this bullshit that Arakshi and also Pezeshkian is spreading on Fox News and Tucker Carlson. Yeah. They want to move us to Mars. Nope. They say the sea. That's what they say usually. Okay, so guys, it's very important now that I talk to you about the opposition. Okay, it's very important that you guys understand this, and I want the audience of the Atheist Republic to have a level of understanding that you're not going to see in other channels. Okay, so when the Islamic Republic is now finally talking to the opposition, they have been preparing for this for years, because they already have their own approved, homegrown, defanged version of the opposition created by the Islamic Republic itself as a way to try to convince the Iranian people and the Westerners that, hey, this is the opposition. You wanted the opposition? Here's the opposition. And they're basically bringing that. They basically have that. And do you guys know who I'm talking about? Do you guys know who I am talking about? Let me, is there anyone aware here? Okay, so yeah, we have people like Mir Hossein Mousavi, Javad Zarif, Tajzadeh, Rouhani, Khatami, but I am not talking about that. I'm talking about somebody very specific that a lot of Americans, Canadians, and Europeans, I don't know if in Israel, they're selling this person as, oh, look, this is the opposition you want. Like, hey, like we were like, hey guys, can we have some attention to opposition? And people like, oh, we have opposition at home. We don't need opposition. We have opposition at home, and this is the opposition at home. Let me actually download the image. No, not the MEK. The Islamic Republic will never be saying that, endorsing the MEK. Anybody? Oh yeah, Blue Nose Narges. Yes, you got it. So let me actually upload her image so you guys are familiar with her, because a lot of people are being fooled by her because she's like not wearing a hijab. This is Narges Mohammadi. Okay, so she's inside Iran's prison. So that's a brownie point that people give that. Oh, I see another super chat. I will respond to that soon. Okay. So she doesn't wear the hijab many times, right? She's against the Islamic Republic. She talks about human rights, and she has gotten a Nobel Peace Prize, right? And I'm telling you that this is what the Islamic Republic wants you to see as the opposition. She is the Islamic Republic's move, the chess piece against Reza Pahlavi. And they have been preparing for this day for so long, and now they're finally playing it because Reza Pahlavi is getting so popular and he's making a lot of moves and he's getting invited in on many Western media platforms. Is getting more attention. So now the Islamic Republic is trying to use whatever tools they could possibly to introduce her to basically spread anti-Pahlavi messages as the opposition and maybe introduce her as the actual opposition. So she is basically controlled opposition, right? And I will convince you guys why. It's very easy for me to tell you guys why you can't trust her. Okay, it's really easy. Like, I will tell you something about her and you guys will be like, okay, yeah, you're right. But as soon as Reza Pahlavi came and made some moves recently that got a lot of attention, right? So Reza Pahlavi started working with Nufti, and they have a lot of plans for what to do when the Islamic Republic falls. They have a lot of detailed plans for how to fill the power vacuum. And also recently they did something that got a lot more attention, which is they provided a secure channel for the regime, for IRGC and other regime officials to be able to join the people and join Reza Pahlavi through an anonymous, secure way. And he has already gathered thousands and thousands of people that are trying to defect from the regime and join Reza Pahlavi. And that was getting a lot of attention. So the regime is Reza Pahlavi is the regime's nightmare, because it's the greatest opposition force, the most popular, and the one with the highest brand recognition and history that a lot of Iranian people have, a positive memories of and nostalgia with. So they know that Reza Pahlavi is this only serious opposition, and any other form of opposition is basically the reason why they're a fake opposition, because they're constantly talking about changing the Islamic Republic within the framework of the Islamic Republic. So using other fake forms of opposition like her will, even if the regime feels like it's on the edge of collapse, it will allow the regime to just do a rebranding and repainting of the Islamic Republic, but keep a lot of their assets and a lot of their key people in place. So they're trying to basically convince you that we have had a regime change without actually having a regime change. So in Iran, we're calling it with pustandozi, like basically how a snake changes its skin. So we're saying that's what the Islamic Republic is trying to do. It is trying to basically change skin instead of actually to avoid actually being toppled, right? So somebody is saying, Jack is saying, do people abroad actually believe in this control opposition? Well, because she has gotten a Nobel Peace, so she's in prison, and the Islamic Republic allows her to interview with Western media, right? So she gets, this is also a huge red flag, by the way, right? So for example, Narges Mohammadi, right, her, when she was in prison, she had an interview with Angelina Jolie regarding how bad the Islamic Republic is and blah, 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 human rights and stuff like that, okay? But here's the question. How the hell did she get that? Like, how, like, other prisoners don't get that, right? It's like Fatima Saperi, for example, is in prison. She is treated very brutally. She doesn't get the access that she gets. And she has the most horrible conditions. And Fatima Saperi is in prison. She gets horrible conditions because she is pro-Pahlavi. Okay? Narges Mohammadi, if you see her conditions in prison, it's like a mini hotel. It's like a hotel. And a lot of Iranians were making fun of her because she became chubbier in prison for some reason. And she looked healthier on her way out than on her way in. And we have videos of her, leaked videos of her situation in prison. And she has like a really nice, you know, if you compare Fatima Seperi's experience in prison compared to Narges Mohammadi, and other people, you always get the impression, the impression that anybody who's with Pahlavi, they're mistreated in prison. But anybody who's claims to be opposition, but is also anti-Pahlavi, if you claim to be opposition and anti-Pahlavi, they don't mistreat you in prison. In fact, they will prepare you as opposition, that the Islamic and government-approved version of opposition. And again, when Pezeshkian came out and finally said we need to talk to the opposition, our predictions came true, because we said like this is controlled opposition, and people were like, what are you talking about? The Islamic Republic never acknowledges any form of opposition. And now they're saying we want to talk to the opposition because they're scared, and they were getting ready for a time like this, exactly a time like this. But just tell me, like, how does she get an interview with Angelina Jolie? Like, she's in prison. Why would because when she's in prison, the Islamic Republic obviously has full control over her. Ask yourself this: why would the Islamic Republic allow her to have an interview with Angelina Jolie? Why would they do that? Why would they do that? Why would they allow that? And again, the Islamic Republic is doing a good job in using right-leaning people as well to try to spread some of their narratives on Western media. They're good at that. The reformers are good at that. And I'm here to try to warn you that not to fall for that. And let me actually give you the one line that all of you need to know who's fake opposition and who's real opposition. Okay. So these people, all of them, right? Like Narges Mohammadi, Nasrin Sotoudeh, I don't know, Javad Zarif, Khatami, Rouhani, who else? Tajzadeh, all of the main leaders of the reformers. Just ask them this. Just go ask them this question, okay? If you wanted to see if this is a person that you want to take would be good alternative to the Islamic Republic. And I asked them, what do you think about the Palestinian cause? What do you think about the Palestinian cause? Because these people they will stand with the so-called Palestinian people against Israel. They have every single time. Every single time. Every single time. And they have said it, and they continue to say it, and they're anti-Israel and for the Palestinians. Okay? You know who doesn't say that? You know who's on the side of Israel? Reza Pahlavi, right? And it's not just that, because you're like, Armin, whatever, even if they're anti Israel, what if the Iranian people want it? Well, maybe I should have prepared this poll for you guys, because if you look at Gammon poll, for example, you can see that every single politician in Iran, their popularity is lower than Reza Pahlavi by huge margin. By huge margin. So Prince Reza Pahlavi is the most popular person. And by the way, what does that tell you about the Iranian people when the most popular person for politics for the Iranian people is somebody who is pro-Israel? And all of these other fake opposition, they are anti-Israel and pro-Palestinian cause. I mean, that says something positive to you, but like that is a really good thing to notice about the Iranian people. Okay, wait a minute. I got another super chat. I forgot to read. Skyscraper saying Iranian movies are great. What's your favorite? Oh my god, I actually don't watch many Iranian movies. Damn it, you caught me. What is Iranian? I don't what? You're asking the wrong person. Iranian movies. What is your favorite? You tell me. But thank you for the super chat. Damn, you caught me. Somebody's gonna call me out. Some Iranians are gonna call me out for not having an answer. I wish I had like one. I actually don't. My guys, I'm gonna admit it. My favorite movies are American. My favorite movie of all time is Troy. Troy is my favorite movie. It's not Iranian. Sorry. I'm sorry to the Iranian people in the chat. No, wait a minute. I'm not sorry. I like what I like. What the hell? Why am I apologizing? Yeah, people are. Yeah, Amir likes Troy too. Yes, Troy. Oh my god, that movie. That was such a good movie. So, one thing else about Narges Mohammadi is that she is actually connected in all the movements that we consider the enemies of Iran. Well, all mostly, yes. So the reformers, she's connected with them. Leftists, she's one of them. And the MEK, her entire family is connected with the MEK. The only one missing, I think, is the cessationist. Yeah, these are the enemies of Iran. The mullahs, which reformers are part of it, the MEK, leftists, like far leftists, and also cessationists. And she's basically close to 3 out of 4. So yeah, she's not a champion. She's basically aligned with basically every single bad movement, almost every single bad movement in Iran that there exists. Okay, so guys, it's very important that you guys understand that. And also these people, her husband was trying to introduce her as the leader of the opposition. And also when they were giving her a Nobel Peace Prize, they introduced her, I think, twice as the leader of the opposition, which is bullshit. I mean, who made her the leader? But again, every time the Islamic Republic is trying to make somebody a leader of the opposition in replacement of Reza Pahlavi, they get foreign governments to do that for them, foreign media, and they also have this feeling that, hey, the Iranian people would not believe us, right? The Iranian people would not believe us. So what if we get the people who we want as opposition to get endorsement by Western media? Because the Iranian people are so brainwashed by Western media. So if we, the Islamic Republic, get some endorsement of these people by Western media, that's how we're going to convince Iranian people that here's your leader of your opposition, right? And also, if we put them in jail, And also we put some statements against them. They're very desperate. But here's the thing: the Iranian people have called them out on their bullshit, and they're not buying it. Like, the Iranian people know that this is fake opposition. The Iranian people, when they go into the streets, they shout the name of their prince. They shout the name of Reza Pahlavi and his father and his grandfather. Okay, people do not go into the streets in Iran and chant Narges Mohammadi. They do not chant Mousavi. They don't chant Tajzadeh. They don't chant Masih Ali Nejad. They don't mention any of these names. They chant Reza Pahlavi. They say King Reza Pahlavi is a famous chant. Javid Shah is a famous chant. Iran shode amade farman bede shahzadeh. That's a very popular chant. So Iran shode amade farman bede shahzadeh. So that means Iran is ready. Give us the command, our prince. So that's Iran shode amade farman bede shahzadeh. Our prince is Reza Pahlavi. When they say our prince, they're referring to Reza Pahlavi. None of these other people have any of that credibility or popularity among the Iranian people. And I want you guys to know this, because this channel gets into these levels of detail that you're not going to get anywhere else. Do you guys like it? Do you guys enjoy the fact that I'm giving you all of this inside information that you might not get in other places? That you will not get in other places unless you speak Persian. Okay. Let me see. So beyond that, so guys, you know about the, I hope people in this channel know about the water crisis and the electricity crisis and the protests in Tehran. Iran is running out of water really quickly. Guys, the water crisis in Iran is going to do something to Iran that Israel could not. Like, this is going to be absolutely freaking devastating. And the Islamic Republic is not ready for the backlash. I mean, even Pezeshkian himself admitted that the capital, Tehran, is facing a catastrophe due to water shortages. And Pezeshkian thinks that they're not going to be able to maintain the situation. He's trying to move the capital to somewhere else. People are furious. People are chanting death to the dictator. This is a national emergency, and they have no. By the way, this is a national emergency that a lot of analysts are demonstrating that a few key installations of certain technologies, or like whatever, I don't know, that is not really that expensive, would have fixed the situation. So people, like, the regime tries to talk about, like, oh, it's basically climate change, but every single analyst, even pro-regime analysts, are saying on they're coming out and on their own media, and they're coming in and saying, like, guys, look, if we actually did this would have been solved by now. And the money that was required to solve that is actually the same as the last shipment that they sent to the Houthis. So not all of the support for Hezbollah, for Hashd Shabi, for Hamas, not all the support that they had for the Houthis, just the latest shipment that of weaponry, the cost of the latest shipment of weaponry they had for the Houthis was enough to be able to install one of these, I don't know what things. I was just listening to an analyst explaining that would have been enough to basically reduce a lot of this pressure. But no, like, this is so bizarre. Like, the regime is going to collapse because they're insisting on supporting these terrorists in the region, and they're not even as a matter of survival. They cannot stop the support of the spending on these terrorists instead of, like, spending on their own infrastructure. You know what this reminds me of, guys? You know what this reminds me? It reminds me of, during World War II, when the Nazis knew that they're about to lose, they didn't stop the trains, right? So they needed money for bullets on the front line, and they were still spending money and resources and soldiers on people making sure that every train continues to make it to, the gas, for all these people, not just Jews, by the way, Jews, handicaps, Romanis, all of them, gay, LGBT, whatever. They were sending him to these gas chambers, and they were insisting that until the very last moment, they wanted to continue to do that. And to me, this is so similar, because the regime desperately right now needs to spend money on the water infrastructure, because, guys, a lot of the water that is being wasted, beyond just the mismanagement on the water that is going to farming, because the regime was insisting on growing things that was not supposed to be grown in Iran. That's another topic. But a lot of it, 40% of it, I think, if I remember correctly, a huge percentage of it is just being wasted in the way. It's just getting wasted in the system because of lack of management. And there are some simple fixes that they could do to fix this, but they continue to use the money that they have to support the Houthis right now. Right? I mean, and again, and they know that this water crisis is going to spark a protest at some point. And even though they know that, they cannot help themselves. They have to still spend money on supporting the Houthis. Yes, somebody's saying no water for days now. Oh, Simone, are you in Iran? Yeah, I keep getting reports from people in Iran that, I get reports from people in Iran saying that the sink at the dish sink at their kitchen has been piling up for like 3 days because they cannot wash it. People are trying to avoid going to the washroom. People are saying that they haven't showered for a long time. Even when the electricity come out, some people are not turning on their air conditioner because it uses water. Is a mess. And again, this is not people who used to live like this and they're used to it. Like this, these are not poor people these are upper middle class people that have never lived like this before. It's one thing if people, like, if you go, I don't know, into a place in a society where they didn't have running water or electricity, and they had already a way of life surrounding those limitations, that's one thing, right? But it's another thing for people to live with electricity and water just being a common thing in their life, and then all of a sudden not having that. That is, I don't know if you understand how different that is. I mean, just imagine yourself living without running water at where you live. Oh, Amelia is saying, oh, wait, is this a joke? Because you remember, did somebody gift that to you? Are you trolling, or is that real? But I'm gonna act like it's real. So Amelia is saying, oh, sorry, in Gaza they don't have food and water too. Talk about that, you Zionists. I do. I talk about it all the time. And you know who's at fault for that? Is Hamas, or it's the Islamic Republic. Yeah, the Islamic Republic, by supporting Hamas, has managed to basically limit the food and water of Gazans, and now also the Iranian people. So I have talked about that. You must be new here, or you're just joking. So yeah, you don't know. Maybe you're not familiar with this channel because I have talked about that a lot, and I know who to blame. Yeah, Torres thinks she probably got gifted. So yeah, oh, look at this. She is new. She's an idiot. Amelia, you're stupid because I have talked about this. Like, yeah, it's because of Hamas, right? And who supported Hamas? Bibi. Well, we criticized Bibi for that on this channel, and it's not. Only a simple mind thinks that politics and basically anything in society is this simple. Like, it's multifactorial. So who supported Hamas? The Islamic Republic. Who supported Hamas? Qatar. Who supported Hamas? Yeah, Bibi also is responsible for supporting Hamas at some point in time. But it's not just him. It's also like he hasn't obviously supported Hamas as much as the Islamic Republic. But guess what? We have criticized Bibi for that. You see how big of a fool you are, Amelia? Like, you just assume that we don't say that. Like, I'm a Zionist, I support Israel, and I criticize Netanyahu sometimes. You see how big of a fool you made out of yourself by not knowing, by just assuming our positions? Yeah, I like a lot of things that Netanyahu does, especially since October 7th. I think he has been doing a really good job. But I also have some criticisms for him. One of them includes allowing funds to be sent to Hamas through Qatar to try to divide and conquer. He thought that would create division between the PLO and Hamas and try to defeat them that way. And obviously that was a horrible idea. And we have been criticizing Netanyahu for that. And I have lost a lot of fans for criticizing Netanyahu for that for years. For years before October 7th, I've criticized Netanyahu for that on this channel. So yeah, if you don't know, don't assume my positions. So yeah, I forgot to mention to you guys regarding Israel, why Israel it seems that Israel right now is putting its investments on the Iranian people. So they must have seen something, because right now, as we're speaking in Iran, a lot of the forces in Iran, like even since the past 24 hours, past 48 hours, more anti-riot, anti-protest individuals have been taken out, like people who are responsible for managing the Islamic republics and the IRGC's forces against the Iranian people when they come out and protest. So Israel is, even after the ceasefire, they're continuing their operation, and their main focus seems to be against anti-protest individuals, which suggests that Israel is really right now investing in the Iranian people rising up. So what information does Israel have that makes them want to invest in this? What are they seeing? And obviously they're also signaling that they're coming out and saying that Israel can weaken the regime, but it's only the Iranian people who could basically topple the regime and do a regime change. So they're saying that, but they're not just saying that. They are actually also taking action in removing this barrier from the Iranian people. I don't know if it's going to pay. If they're going to see a return on their investment, we're seeing the signs of it, as I showed you, both in Sabzawar and Tehran. People are rising up a little bit, right? And it's starting to pick up. But both the Islamic Republic are showing signs that they're worried about an uprising. And also Israel is also showing signs that they are optimistic that this could happen. And they're just trying to remove the barriers in front of the Iranian people. So every information that I see, everybody is getting ready for two things. Whether or not it will happen or not, we'll see. But everybody is acting as if two things are about to happen. Three things, actually. One, the snapback mechanism by Europe is going to be used in the United Nations by Europe, which that deserves its own entire show. Two, Israel is going to attack the Islamic Republic again for the second round of the war. And three, the Iranian people are about to rise up. And by about to, I don't know exactly when, but we will get to a point where the Iranian people will rise up. Again, you guys need to be patient, because these things take time. But everything I see suggests that everybody, both the Islamic Republic, Israel, Europe, and America, they're all getting ready for these three things happening. So we'll see how many of these three things happens. But let me tell you one thing. I don't see a way for the Islamic Republic to survive if these three things happen. Let me see what you guys are saying in the chat. Amelia saying, I'm Jewish, but I'm not an Israeli. I have Jewish Israeli friends. They are peace activists. Okay, peace activists, good, because if you're a peace activist, you should be pro-IDF and pro-Mossad, because nothing has been a greater force for peace in the Middle East than Israel's military. So if you study the history of war, you will see that you achieve peace by destroying your enemies and defeating them and eliminating the threat. You don't get peace through negotiations. You don't get peace through appeasement. You get peace by destroying the forces of destruction. Let me see who else here. Yeah, no, so Marsh saying a false peace isn't peace, but the way I say it is ceasefire isn't long-lasting peace. Ceasefire might be a way for the forces against peace to basically recover. Somebody saying, UV is saying peace through eating other people's nation. What nation are you talking about? There was no nation there when Israel showed up. It was the Ottoman Empire, and the Ottoman Empire had collapsed, so there was no nation there. Also, Israel is the country that has given up more land for the sake of peace than any other country in the world. So not only they haven't eaten other people's nations, they have given land that they had controlled to other nations for the sake of peace more than any other country. Yeah, Palestine is not a nation. Palestine is a word for a terrorist movement. There is no nation of Palestine. Palestine just means an anti-Israeli terrorist movement. That's what Palestine means. The Palestinian existed. No, what do you mean? Palestine as a nation didn't exist. Palestine as a name existed by the imperial. That Palestine as a name was created by Romans who hated Jews. They gave the name Palestine to that land to change the name from Israel to Palestine because they were anti-Jewish. And we know, like, it's very interesting that the Arabs have picked that Roman name for themselves, given that they don't even have the sound P in their alphabet, which shows how foreign that name is to that area, which is interesting because these people are supporting an imperialist name, a Roman imperialist name, Palestine, and at the same time claiming to be anti-imperialist. I mean, Israel is an anti-imperialist force, right? Back then, Israel was an anti-imperialist force. The name Palestine belonged to the Roman Empire, and Israel was anti-imperial. And today also, Israel is anti-imperialist because Israel is standing up against the Islamic Empire. At the beginning, there was the Pan-Arabist, the Arab Empire. So the Pan-Arabists were trying to create an Arab empire, and Israel was standing up as a nation state. The concept of a nation state is anti-imperialist. So Israel was standing up as a nation state to the Arab Empire, and today Israel is standing up against an Islamic empire. So Israel, throughout its history, has been anti-imperialist, except the times that it was a colony of the Persian Empire. Both during the Achaemenid dynasty and the Sassanid dynasty, Israel was not anti-imperialist because they were happy with the Persians. They were like, yeah, this is good. We have no complaints. But with the Romans, with the Ottomans, with everyone else, they were like, yeah, this is bullshit. They were anti-imperialist. with the like Arab Empire, Islamic Empire, Ottoman Empire, Roman Empire. Like, no, thank you. Yeah, the Hellenists, yes. But that guys, Israel, the Jews, the only empires they approved of were the two Persian empires, the Achaemenid Empire when they were a colony of the Achaemenid Empire, or the Sassanid Empire. They're like, yeah, we're okay with this. This is good. Right. That's the only empires. Amelia, you're running out of arguments. Saying this is embarrassing, guys. Guys, people use these lines when they don't actually have any arguments. Like when you make so many good points, and they basically have nothing to respond to. They're like, "Oh, this is stupid. This is embarrassing." This is a sign when people when you know they don't actually have any facts or any points because they don't have anything to offer. Because they know if they actually said something as an argument, it would when they realize that here they're among people who are very well informed and they know their facts and their arguments. They know that if they actually try to make an argument, it would be embarrassing to them, and because they will be destroyed in front of everyone else. And because they feel embarrassed, this is projection. They're like, "Oh, guys, this is embarrassing. You guys should be embarrassed." And this is basically a surrender sign. They're like, "Hey, my hands are empty. I'm just going to call you names." Yeah. Okay, guys. Guys, by the way, I am gonna have a show on my personal channel, Armin Navabi. Let me see what that is about. Let me actually check it. In about 1 hour. Guys, make sure you like and subscribe to this, and subscribe and hit the bell notification, because we go live on this channel almost every day. So you need to hit the bell notification so you don't miss it, and also like the stream. But on my personal channel, we don't talk politics there. I usually, on my personal channel, Armin Navabi, if you search for it, it will come. I talk about using AI for different purposes, and usually to gain health, wealth, and love. So that's what I do on my personal channel, using not just AI but all technology and science as a whole. And okay, so the next stream that I have coming up is called "A Sacred Mission in the Age of AI." So I think that's going to be interesting for you guys to watch. And again, I'll show you how you could use AI not just for income generation, but also for meaning and a sense of community. So if you're interested in that, again, search for my name, Armin Navabi. My channel will show up, and I'm going to be talking about that on that channel in about 60 minutes, in about 1 hour from now, right? So yeah, go check that out. And yeah, and also like the stream, subscribe, hit the bell notification, leave a comment after the show is over. And also, guys, let me know if the stuff that I'm telling you here is very valuable information that you don't see on other live stream. Like if you want to understand the Middle East, this is the best channel. You guys know that the content that I'm bringing you here, you're not getting it in other places. Like, show me where else you're going to get this level of nuance regarding especially when it comes to the Islamic Republic. You're not going to get this anywhere else. And especially, I know that the Israelis in the chat really appreciate this, because because of this channel, Israelis who follow my live streams have become an expert on their enemies. Israel, it's important for Israelis to know their enemies, and I think I have provided that service to Israelis more than anyone else. Okay. Kevin Cradle is saying true. Yes, true. Now Torah is saying, Armin, thank you for always putting in the work and bringing new stuff all the time. Well, thank you. I'm giving you daily updates. Like, the stuff that I'm giving you is fresh. Like, they are just the most recent stuff. Like what Pezeshkian said is like just yesterday, and also people coming out in Tehran is just yesterday. Israel basically taking out some of the forces that are responsible for anti-protest. That's also just in the past 48 hours, some new ones. So it's fresh. And it's also not only I'm telling you what is happening, I'm also giving you all of this information from a perspective of somebody who understands the inner details of the Islamic Republic's politics. Oh, wow, look at this. This is so good. I love this. Dr. Tang is saying, Armin, you are a true friend of Israel. That is so sweet. I appreciate that. Oh my God, thank you. Thank you. That is so nice. Based. That is so sweet. And you guys, by the way, you guys are also great friends of Iran and the Iranian people. So thank you for that. I really appreciate you guys' support for Iran and the Iranian people. Oh, this is so heartwarming, you guys. Thank you. All right, guys. I'm gonna go get ready for my next show on my personal channel. Oh, Ryan is saying thanks. Amir is giving me hearts. Amir, you're always here, always supporting me. I'm so grateful to you. And everyone else also. Heavy Gretel, you guys. Wait, what was that? Thanks for your perspective. Thank you. Now I'm not going to go because I'm just reading these. Long live Atheist Republic. Thanks, Armin. Oh, Jerry Samantha is giving me heart. Okay. Heavy Gretel. Okay, I'm getting too many compliments. I'm going to stay forever just reading. I'm just going to read here, stay here reading this compliments. Okay, guys. Thank you. You guys are very sweet. Thank you. Jack. Thank you. Okay, I'm gonna go. I don't want to go. You hang up. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. Okay. Okay. All right, guys. Bye. I'm Israel Chai. Javid Shah. Mwah. Bye, guys.